Our opening thought is from Thich Nhat Hanh, from his work, The Art of Living. We are children of the earth, made of all the same elements and minerals. We contain mountains, rivers, stars, and black holes. In every moment of our life, the cosmos is going through us, renewing us, and we are returning ourselves to the cosmos. We are breathing the atmosphere, eating the earth's food, creating new ideas, and experiencing new feelings. And we are emitting energy back into the cosmos in our thinking, speech, and actions, in our out-breath, in our body's warmth, and in releasing everything we have consumed and digested. In this very moment, many parts of us are returning to the earth. We don't return to the earth and cosmos only when our body disintegrates. We are already inside the earth, and the earth is inside us. Our next reading comes from Desmond Tutu, from his work, No Future Without Forgiveness. Tutu writes, Ubuntu is very difficult to render into a Western language. It speaks of the very essence of being human. When we want to give high praise to someone, we say, You Nobuntu. Hey, so-and-so has Ubuntu. Then you are generous, you are hospitable, you are friendly and caring and compassionate. You share what you have. It is to say, my humanity is caught up, is inextricably bound up in yours. We belong in a bundle of life. We say a person is a person through other persons. It is not, I think, therefore I am. It says rather, I am human because I belong. I participate. I share. A person with Ubuntu is open and available to others, affirming of others, does not feel threatened that others are able and good, for he or she has a proper self-assurance that comes from knowing that they belong in a greater whole and are diminished when others are humiliated or diminished, when others are tortured or oppressed, or treated as if they were less than who they are. Our next reading comes from Rebecca Adamson, from her essay, First Nations and the Future of the Earth. The indigenous understanding has its basis of spirituality in a recognition of the interconnectedness and the interdependence of all living things, a holistic and balanced view of the world. All things are bound together. All things connect. What happens to the earth happens to the children of the earth. Humankind has not woven the web of life. We are but one thread. Whatever we do to the web, we do to ourselves. In 2024, after a multi-year process of discernment and discussion, and finally by a democratic vote, the Unitarian Universalist General Assembly adopted 6 shared values. And the shared values are published on the UUA website with the following rationale and descriptions. And I quote, Unitarian Universalism is a living tradition that has changed in many ways from the original Christian roots of its Universalist and Unitarian heritages, and it continues to evolve today. Most recently, this evolution has taken the form of adopting new language to describe who we are as UUs. At General Assembly in June 2024, UUs voted to replace existing 7 principles and 6 sources language in our bylaws with language describing Unitarian Universalism through these shared values. And here are the 6 shared values. Interdependence. We honor the interdependent web of all existence and acknowledge our place in it. Pluralism. We are all sacred beings, diverse in culture, experience, and theology. Justice. We work to be diverse, multicultural, beloved communities where all feel welcome and can thrive. Transformation. We adapt to the changing world. Generosity. We cultivate a spirit of gratitude and hope. And equity. We declare that every person is inherently worthy and has the right to flourish with dignity, love, and compassion. It's also important to note that love is seen to be at the center of all these shared values, and love is the thread that holds them all together. So today, I'm reflecting on the shared value of interdependence and our commitment to, quote, honor the interdependent web of all existence and acknowledge our place in it, end quote. Our interdependence reminds us that no thing separates us from each other. We breathe the same air. We all require the same sustenance that our communities make possible. Our very coming into being is the product of intimate relationship. Our lives are infused with the value and meaning of deep connections within community. That which separates us are the ideologies and causes of our own making. Our lived reality is one of interdependence, no matter how hard we attempt to mask it with the artifice of individualism. Using the language of the 20th century UU philosopher Charles Hartshorne, who spent a number of years at the Unitarian Universalist Church in Austin, Texas, he says this: our lives and experiences literally participate in the lives and experience of others, as theirs do also in ours. And as my mentor in social ethics, Walter Muelder, maintained, we are not simply individuals, we are always persons in community, a community that includes both human and other than human life. Whatever else reality is, at its core, it is relations. We are related to all, and all is related to us. If one could trace all of our relations, one would see that we are in some way related to every aspect of the universe, all the way back to that which we perceive as its beginning, the mystery of which we still are not able to fully understand. Although we can only experience our interdependence now, in this present moment, our interdependence connects us to the past, as we owe our present existence to those who have come before us. And we are connected to the future, as we seek to live responsibly and sustainably for the well-being of all that is to come. Our interdependence connects us to the past, is lived in the present, and anticipates a future of well-being for all. Responsible freedom, to live freely in a responsible way, is grounded in an awareness, a recognition of interdependence. Lasting freedom is grounded in our willing each other to be free. We will ourselves to be free, while at the same time willing others to be free. Justice is grounded in keeping people from using their freedom to oppress others. And love is grounded in liberating those who are oppressed and in resisting those who oppress others. The existentialist philosopher Simone de Beauvoir recognized that the quality of our freedom is inextricably linked with the quality of the freedom of others. A responsible use of our freedom is not only that we will ourselves to be free, but also that we will others to be free. But when we use our freedom to cut other people off from their freedom, that is oppression. And the proper response to oppression is liberation. A responsible use of our freedom is not only to will ourselves to be free and the freedom of others, but also to liberate those who are being oppressed by others. As our readings this morning illustrate, the value of interdependence is shared across diverse and varied cultures and traditions. Some express our interdependence as beloved community, one of my favorite ways of thinking about it. Others, like Thich Nhat Hanh, refer to it as interbeing. We heard Desmond Tutu talk about Ubuntu. Others focus on relations, and others the web of life. They all share a recognition of our inextricable connection with each other. That we actualize our full personhood as we embrace our interdependence with others. Interdependence is not about losing ourselves to the collective. It's about finding ourselves. It's about knowing who we are as members of a beloved community. The most dangerous lie of our current economic system, I think, is this. It's the lie that nature is simply a commodity for us to consume rather than a community in which to live. Our false understanding that we are somehow separate from other than human life intensifies our false understanding that we are separate from each other. The mutually reinforcing lies that we are separate from nature and that we are separate from each other lead to the commodification of people, the objectification of people, and also the planet. Our commodification of other than human life sets the stage for our commodification and depersonalization of each other. Rather than seeing ourselves as interdependent participants of equal value, of inherent worth within the community of all life, we are reduced to consumers. We are reduced to resources, and we are valued primarily for what we can purchase and produce. This is a warped sense of self-understanding, and it contributes to a warped understanding of morality and a warped understanding of the worth of persons. For example, our culture perpetuates the myth that people become billionaires because they are better people, when in actuality, they might simply be worse people who have no moral qualms about exploiting persons and the planet for profit.
Preach.
When we recognize the true value of our interdependence, we see clearly that there is no such thing as a self-made billionaire. Persons become billionaires through the exploitation of others, some more explicitly so than others. The wealth that comes through the exploitation of others gives billionaires a false sense of independence. They think they are fully free and powerful because of the money that they made, but they tend to fail to see the reality of their interdependence with other persons and the rest of life, thus often feeling an exaggerated sense of self-worth that keeps them from being kind, from being empathetic persons, which makes it then easier for them to continue to exploit others for their own gain and to expand their power and control over both our economic and our political processes. Tragically, we are seeing this play out before our eyes as our flawed democracy slips further and further into the snare of full-blown oligarchy, run by the ultra-rich who think their ability to profit off of others warrants their having more and more power and control over the lives of the masses. In the days ahead, there will be many attempts by American oligarchs to weaken our sense of interdependence, with both human and other than human life. We will falsely be told that Americans and a certain brand of religion have more worth and value than others. We will falsely be told that the well-being of migrants and refugees is not connected to our well-being. We will falsely be told that protecting the quality of life and the rights of persons who are LGBTQIA+ is a threat to the well-being of our communities. We will falsely be told that we can ignore our interdependence with nature and that we can continue treating Earth as a commodity, even though overwhelming scientific evidence shows that we are destroying a livable climate and that we are creating the sixth great extinction on Earth. Our shared value of interdependence helps us to see clearly these lies as the lies they are. Our shared value of interdependence calls us to be bold and courageous and to resist these lies that divide us and separate us from each other. Our shared value of interdependence and responsible freedom call us to concerted action to stay connected with each other, to love both human and other than human life, to will the freedom of others, to work relentlessly for justice for all, especially the most vulnerable among us, and to do all in our power to liberate the oppressed from the systems and the powers that objectify and dehumanize them. May our shared value of interdependence, empowered by love, hold us together. May it hold us together even while so many powers in this world attempt to tear us apart. Amen. May the love that gives to life its beauty, the reverence that gives to life its sacredness, and the purposes that give to life its deep significance be strong within each of us and lead us into ever-deepening relationships with all of life.